Hey friends, welcome back to Two Bears Homestead. Let me adjust this for you. There you are. So welcome back. Today I'm doing a recipe of apple pie filling. I've never done it before. I wanted to learn how to do it. I did some research, but I found a pretty simple recipe. It's actually by Melissa K. Norris, and I absolutely think it's straightforward. A lot of the recipes I found call for adding apple juice to it, and I didn't want to add the apple juice. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible because, you know, 150 years ago they wouldn't have apple juice on the shelves, so I wanted to kind of keep it a little simple, a little more pure, if you will. So I already peeled and cored the apples, and then I sliced up some of the larger chunks. And on the stove behind me, I don't know if you can see it. I can simply move you. I have my canner ready to go. The jars are in there. It's on. Then I have a pot of water on the stove for blanching the apples, because you have to blanch the apples because apples have a lot of air inside them. So when you're in the cooking process of the cooking of the canning process, that will release the air inside the jar, and that'll unbalance the jar and mess with the headspace and pressure in the can, blah, blah, blah. So what we have here is, I'm not even going to turn you off. I'm just going to move the camera down and show everything. Is we have on the counter 12 cups of apples ready to go. They're in lemon juice with water. And to that we have, I'm just going to read right off my notes, that I have 2 3/4 cup of raw sugar, 3/4 of a cup of clear gel. And clear gel is this stuff. This is the approved canning cornstarch. It's a modified cornstarch, and it's non-GMO. This is great stuff. I use it to make gravies as well. I mean, it's just really, really good stuff. And then the half a cup of lemon juice. The water will add to the pot when the time comes. And then in here I have a teaspoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and a half a teaspoon of ginger. That's it. Keeping it simple. I'm following the recipe to the letter, and away we go. So I'm going to go ahead and start blanching the apples, and then after I'm done blanching them, I'm going to just dump that pot out, and that's going to be the same pot that we're going to use to make the filling for the apples. So off we go. Okay, so the apples have come to a boil. They've been boiling for 1 minute. That's all you need for a blanch. Just take them, strain them out real quick. And you don't even have to chill them. Just leave them warm. Cover them to keep them warm. And then go ahead and get your next batch in. Back in the same pot that we just cleaned out, we are going to be adding 3 3/4 cups of water. I'm using filtered water. And then we are going to be adding the sugar, the clear gel, and the spices. So we're going to just go ahead and knock the sugar in there first. The clear gel. Cornstarch just gets everywhere, doesn't it? And the spices. So just get the spices right in there. And then let's get all that whisked together. And you want to cook that until it thickens and it's just a little bit of a boil. It's boiling, and then you want to add in the lemon juice. Thickens, and then you want to remove it from the heat completely. Now that you've removed it from the heat completely, all we're going to do now is just fold in the apples. just want to get a nice distribution of the glaze around all your apples so you have no spots with just a bunch of glaze and no apples. And this is ready to go into the jars. Here I had wiped the lids with hot water on a paper towel first. Now I'm going back and just getting it with a little bit of vinegar because the cornstarch and the syrup got all over everything. So I want to make sure those rims are as clean as possible. And the one thing I wanted to point out is you must absolutely have 1 inch or a little bit more of headspace because the clear gel, the cornstarch, will expand during the canning process. So you want to have that generous 1 inch headspace without question. And that's the same if you're using clear gel for any kind of gravies or thickened soups that you can do that are approved recipes. Must be 100% 1 inch headspace on these jars. And over to the canner we go. We have a full canner. Well, there are 3 jars in the canner, and then there are 4 empty jars because I knew the recipe wouldn't fill this whole canner, but you want to have those extra jars in there to stabilize the canner during the process. Canner is on high. Now, once it comes to a boil, again, once it comes to a boil, then it is 25 minutes processing time at sea level. Okay, so after the canner is done, 25 minutes processing, you remove the lid and let it sit for 5 minutes after you turn the heat off. And after 5 or so minutes, maybe 10, go ahead and remove from the jar. And this is what we have. Beautiful apple pie filling. So, as I said earlier, this is actually the first time I'm doing this. So we shall see what this looks like. I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to be making a recipe and making a pie on a video because I'm just not really that good of a baker. But at the end of the day, it's pretty straightforward. So this is absolutely beautiful. Okay, folks, so that was it. It was pretty straightforward. I think I'll probably do this again, especially if this is a really good apple pie. You know, when I make the apple pie, the process was pretty straightforward. Actually, if I didn't have to stop and deal, and film the footage, you could blow right through this. I mean, this was really, tops 20 minutes prep. It's just really that straightforward. So, but this is the process. These are the apples. Look how beautiful that is. That's just really, really pretty. And I'm excited to try it. You can also use this in apple crisp, apple turnovers, apple cobbler. I guess you're limited by your imagination more than anything. But, it's apples, it's fall, nothing says fall more than apples, pumpkins, and, Thanksgiving's coming up, and, I'll probably save one of these for Christmas time. Or if I find another, bunch of apples. Those apples were, organic apples. So down here in Florida, we don't get we get organic, but it's very, very expensive here. We're not in apple territory down here, so it's, there's the added cost of that. But if I happen to be further north, or if I know somebody just driving down, I might ask them to stop and grab me some. if I need. I don't need apple butter and apple sauce because I have a lot left from last year, because I did do 2 cases of apples last year. But this year, you know, I wasn't really intent on doing apples, but like I said, my mother-in-law bought me that peck, so I figured I'll do something I've never done before, and I figured I'd bring you along with me. And that's it. I'm rambling. So if you have any comments, please drop them below. And any suggestions that something, you know, a different recipe that I might want to look into for future references, would love to hear from you. And as always, hit that like and subscribe button. And the best way you can help our channel grow is by sharing us on your social media and tell a friend. So until next time, folks, we shall see you soon.